Welcome everyone to another WWE 2k17 video as we are on the countdown to WWE 2k18. No, I haven't been posting much, but today I thought of something special, unique, something that stands out. That is my top 20 favorite matches of Universe Mode, Season 1 through 2. Of course, this is strictly my opinion. If you feel that you enjoyed some better than others that I will be listing, let me know if you want. But everyone's entitled to their opinions. Of course, I've sat through every single match, so I have a little insight. But it comes down to opinions, and there's over a couple hundred matches to consider. But nonetheless, I wanted to go through 20, so I'm going to count down from 20 to 1, and for today, I'll go from 20 to 11, so the other half can continue on for another episode. But let's get into it. I think I've taken enough of your time explaining my top 20 picks, or favorite matches of 2k17 are: number 1, the Goldberg Elimination Chamber match in Season 2. What does this mean? Well, if I look back, it was Season 2 episode, if I remember correctly, as 49 of the series. Why it was so significant? Well, just destroy 5 of the men inside the chamber to try to win the Hardcore Championship. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a one-sided beatdown. It was a heck of a lot of fun to do. And it wasn't even on the kickoff, which was great. It felt different. It felt like it stood out. Even though the Hardcore Championships were just decent most of the time, I think this one, the chamber matches in both seasons, and I'll get into the second chamber match probably later on, but both Hardcore title fights on the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in 2 seasons were absolutely phenomenal, and this one just barely snuck in at number 20. Of course, it's my opinion. Number 19, the first Royal Rumble match. Season 1, episode 44, or 45, my mistake. Episode 45 of Season 1. It was the Royal Rumble match at the very end, and why this was so significant was because the moment, like, you talk about moments, and during the whole Rumble match, you're wondering who's coming out, who's the next guy, which one of our custom wrestlers could be entering, and you have Class Par make it to the final 2, and it got him over with the fans. Everybody wanted to see him win that match, only for Shinsuke to win and eliminate him, but still, it was, if you talk about moments, it was a massive moment as a whole, which is why I think it should be number 19, is just because the whole match was really well done, although we did lose track of a number at some point in the match. If you go back and watch the video, I didn't have time to I didn't really think about editing this video. That's why I kind of did it as a stream format, so we're stuck with this. So I put on a Royal Rumble with custom wrestlers and a few actual wrestlers. Number 18, this may be controversial among you, but still, I found it very entertaining. Season 2, episode 48, I believe. But anyways, it was that or the NXT show before that. But regardless, that And I'm talking about Kalisto versus Sin Cara. Why? Why? How can Sin Cara and Kalisto possibly get on the list? Well, let's just say they put on probably the only fantastic one-on-one ladder match. And I think it got a lot of people interested in. And personally, I loved it because I finally got to showcase two cruiserweights that had phenomenal movesets, phenomenal chemistry, and CPU with CPUs, and it finally worked between cruiserweights, and it felt like the match just flowed. You had Kalisto and Sin Cara, who were just not even using the ladder for most of the match. If you go back and watch the video, most of the match was just phenomenal maneuvers in the beginning, just one-on-one competition, and didn't even feel like it wasn't even a ladder match until it was brought in. But that wasn't bad. That wasn't a drawback. It was just showcasing that they didn't need the ladder to put on a good match. And then when they brought in the ladder, it was an extra element that helped add to the magic of the match that was already happening. I think it was a one-of-a-kind match that I may or may not be able to pull off again with a one-on-one ladder match. Because typically the CPUs just throw you out of the ring, and then they just check you out of the ring, then they take control, and then they're like, we won. Easy as that. So, with that in mind, comments are rolling in. It's okay, Panda. Now, of course, number 17. And I don't know if this would be a surprise to everyone, but I will say Season 2, Episode... I really don't want to be wrong here. Season 2, Episode... I'm looking back, because I don't want to be wrong here for you guys. Stand by. I didn't write all this down beforehand, which I should have. Season 2, Episode 17, Brooklyn. Takeover Brooklyn, Ty Dillinger versus Triple H. This may come to a shock to people, it may not to others, but I can guarantee you one thing, it was a beautifully done match, and if you go back and watch it, you can disagree with me or you can agree with me. It is up to your opinion. But I personally felt it was one of my best matches that had ever occurred, especially with a lower level guy against a guy like Triple H, who's like a 90 some odd or 80, high 80 overall. And everything was perfectly timed. You have a great, at least a quote unquote great storyline between a guy who's trying to go to the top of NXT. Triple H puts out a test for him, beat me, and then you will prove to me that you are one of the best on my roster. So it was kind of like prove to the head of NXT that he was that good, and he is that good. So it was a really good match. It was a lot of fun to do. Plenty of awesome kickouts. I can tell you that. It was totally awesome. And then number 16, this one you guys may be surprised that it's higher on the list. Kevin Dranko versus James Arlington on the NXT TakeOver Dallas show, Season 2, Episode 51. That's what it is. That's what I'm looking for. 51. And it was the kickoff match. And why this was... Sorry, I'm responding to comments. Why this was a key match. Despite it possibly not topping Ty Dillinger versus Triple H in performance-wise, you could, or at least with all the shocking kickouts, it definitely proved that Kevin Draco and James Arlington definitely had something, whether it was together or separate. It proved that both of them had the moves. And here's the thing, Kevin Draco was already established with Kurt Angle, and this helped show that he could work with other guys to put on solid matches. Even though, I dorked up the kick out at the very end, but at least, I can sell that kind of move. But regardless, I think it was very crucial because it established James Arlington as a huge thing, because he lost the match, the pay-per-view before against Kurt Angle, and it wasn't really a good match at all. But this helped repair, or at least give him some momentum. Now, I don't know if I'm bringing him back in 2k18. It depends on the fan interest, if anybody wants to see him. It's the same thing with Yuri Yamashita, Adrian Galerto, Samuel Armstrong. If anybody is interested in these people, that's why I'll bring him back. At least the ones I made. But the gravity of the match was great, because it also kicked off Kevin Draco's 2-match night, because he was defending the NXT title in the main event, and it was a great starter because it differentiated. He was defending the NXT Television Championship, which is typically defended later in the night. So you push the Hardcore Championship off the kickoff match, and it just added to the weight of it, like, whoa, this is at the kickoff of the show. And it was just beautifully done until the ending. It was just a great, solid match. But it was a little too short. The ending was a flaw, but everybody makes mistakes. I make mistakes. But it was a heck of a lot of fun to watch. And if you just sit there and watch it till the very end, which you guys may be like, that was that was kind of lame. It was so much fun. Now, of course, number 15, I gotta do it. Because it was just an iconic moment versus Samuel Armstrong 2, their second fight. If you don't remember, they fought in the first fight at Backlash, I believe. Either that or it was the first season. Yeah, the first one was in early season 1. I think it was on Backlash. This one was a redemption fight between Armstrong and Lesnar. You can find at WrestleMania season 1. They are custom wrestlers from my universe mode, so it's okay if you don't know them. That's kind of the idea. One of them is CM Punk, by the way. So anyways, it was the Season 1 WrestleMania match. I believe it was at the kickoff. Either that or it was the second match on the main show. But anyways, it was a really solid match. And even though I know everybody is still kind of making fun of Armstrong for being the wannabe Brock Lesnar, or the Brock Lesnar copy, I really tried to change his look from from 2k16, because you guys were comparing him to Lesnar, so I had him added a thicker beard, gave him long hair, kind of tried to give him a change in character, a different look. And this was kind of like the statement, the ultimate statement after a whole season of just constantly trying to prove that he deserves a match against Lesnar. It's the ultimate showdown, and Lesnar, well, I won't spoil it, but Lesnar and him have one heck of a fight, and it was a beautiful ending to an awesome, awesome match. Matt King. Typical being eliminated so fast. Number 14. And I want to say this, Austin Aries. WWE. Phenomenal wrestler, and I bring that up because number 14 is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Austin Aries at NXT TakeOver Season 2, Episode 51. This one, kind of no-brainer, to me at least, on being in the top 20, just because it's Austin Aries' go-home match. And I know everyone was kind of skeptical. They were all really excited for me making the announcement of who he was going to fight. And then when I said Shinsuke Nakamura, everyone was kind of like, alright, we've already seen it in real life, but I think this one, in my opinion, topped the real-life fight. It felt really good. It came down to, and at the end was the ultimate ending in my opinion, because if I'm not commentating, if I was just talking about the actual like the finishers and everything, both of them had one finisher and they both square off in the ring, and you're in that split second, even me, where I'm spamming triangle trying to use my finisher, and you're wondering who's gonna hit the grand finale move. And I won't spoil it. I know some people have already seen the match, but it was such a beautiful match. Even though it was the goodbye match for Austin Aries, it was one heck of a send-off. And I would have loved, I can't spoil it, but I'm not disappointed with the match. I was a little scared that I wouldn't do a good job and give him a proper ending, but I think I did it better than WWE. That's my opinion. I think I gave him a better run in WWE, in my opinion, even though I didn't give him a huge push. And he won the United States title, the Cruiserweight title twice, and the Hardcore Championship. We'll get into that match later in the top 10 video. But, unless you guys want me to run through all 20 and I can just edit the video title. But anyways, number 13, Panda, you brought up Class Par. Number 13 is Ross Young versus Class Par, Season 2, Episode 4. This match, the NXT Champion versus the NXT Television Champion. Champion versus Champion non-title match. And I just, you never want to throw a match onto the card, especially on YouTube. You never want to throw something together because you have nothing planned. But I wanted to showcase both of them, and it turned into one of the best matches in single competition. And I didn't expect much, to be honest, between both guys, but it just proved to me at least that these guys could just work on the ring. These guys have perfect chemistry. These guys have perfect moves. It was just really well done. And hello, RV. But it was such a good match. All these matches, I want to say, are really good, and I know there are some matches I'm leaving out. Heck, there are superstars that I love to mention, and I know guys have had great matches. Harvey, for one. Colt Lee, for another. Just to name a few guys that have put on good matches, and if I had a longer list, their matches would definitely be on this. But I had to trim it down to 20. 20 that I felt were key, crucial, huge. Although I will say the Tyler Wolf versus Harvey match was key. But anyways, I'm getting off track. Ross Young versus Class Par was classic. It felt fresh. It felt great. And they only clashed once, but it was in a good, solid match. I won't spoil the ending. But number 12, I think everyone kind of saw this coming. I think everyone was going to see this coming. Matt King versus The Undertaker, Battleground. This was Season 2, Episode 18, if I remember correctly. Yes. It was kind of like, hey, let me throw an opponent at The Undertaker before his SummerSlam match against AJ Styles, the pay-per-view prior. And Matt King wasn't on the card, so I was like, alright, Matt King it is. And then it turned into a phenomenal match. And of course, you can't argue, yes, The moves were repetitive. Everyone, both were just hitting the same moves over and over. But regardless, it was just a long enough match. It didn't run too long, but it ran long enough for both of them to look absolutely dominant. And it was the third and final match of the trilogy that they had. And it had a nice wrap, tie-up, and a bow feeling to it. Which is why it's so high up. But not too high. Well, also, by the way, I put in all the custom wrestlers, so Harvey hasn't come in yet into the Rumble. But number 11 is, you guys may be surprised a little, Matt King versus Seth Rollins. This is strictly my opinion. I think it tops a lot of the fights, mainly because, well, it had a much better ending, personally, to me. And I know everyone was like, nah, there's no way it's a 5-star match. And I get that. It may not be a 5-star match to everyone else, but to me, it was short, but sweet. It's kind of like a donut. I'm just trying to throw out an example. It's like a donut. You just want to wolf it down, and once you eat it, it's over. It's gone. It's done. But it left that sweet taste in your mouth where you can just remember. Like, I remember that donut, and I want to have another later down the line. And there's Harvey, by the way, in case any of you guys were wondering. But especially the ending. I feel like the ending was just beautifully done with the... I can't spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. But it made both of them look so strong. It was a heck of a lot of fun to me. And I was just so engaged, so excited. And by the way, this was Season 2, Episode 51. If you're looking to check it out, this was a great match, in my opinion. So let me know if you guys want me to go run through 10 through 1 right now or wait till another day. I have the time if you guys want me to cover them. So just let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do 10 through 1 right now. Okay, 10 through 1. We'll get through it, and I may... Alright, I'll run through it. If you guys leave, that's okay. I'll try to get through it. But anyways, I'll just change the title of the video. It's alright. Number 10 is Tyler Wolf versus Brock Lesnar, Survivor Series Season 2. I can't remember the episode number, but fight me over it. I can't remember. But you can find it in the playlist. But regardless, this fight was literally awesome in the sense that it's if you are just into a long one-sided beatdown and an ultimate underdog desperately trying to come back into this fight, it was a great match. It was solid. It was great, and especially Tyler Wolf's rallying comeback with several finishers, which you can go ahead and watch it, but it was so solid. It was hardcore. Brock Lesnar beating the crap out of him. It was great, and it was for the World Heavyweight Championship, which is now called the Universal Championship. But it will definitely stand out as one of my favorite matches, just because it's kind of like John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. You beat him down so badly that it just sticks in your head. And this was definitely the deciding factor that Lesnar was going to have a long and prosperous title reign. On to number 9, it was the WrestleMania Season 2 Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Championship. The guys in that match are Brock Lesnar, Harvey, Colt Lee, and Finn Balor. And let me tell you something. Everything was spot on in this match. From Brock Lesnar nailing the F5s, to people breaking up the F5s, to people just breaking up every single cover. Every single time, it looked like someone was going to get the win. Someone was going to be going to Monday Night Raw as the Universal Champion. It was just a breakup every time. Every time. You think you almost beaten, someone's won the match. They didn't. Now, of course, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. This match was off the charts on how good it was. And it truly was an example of how good a Fatal 4-Way match should be. And I gotta give credit to Stone Cold, the guy who made Coley, and this guy's Joker, the guy in the comments right now, who made Harvey. And if they do come back, I hope that we have more matches like these, because they are phenomenal. So yes, you did get on the list, and you made my top 10. Now, number 8. This may be a little controversial. Matt King versus The Rock. NXT TakeOver Orlando Season 2, just before the Royal Rumble. Now, I get it. It's similar to Seth Rollins. It's similar to the... Oh, it wasn't... It was similar to the Undertaker fight, where it felt like it just kept going and going. But it didn't run so long that it's like, oh, this is the same stuff over and over and over. There were a lot of OMG moments. There were a couple shocking moments, especially the ending. But I think it was a very satisfying ending to a match, in my opinion. If it was going to end out on an OMG moment, it was going to end out on that, especially with a finisher. I don't want to spoil it, but it was a well-done match by both. Rock is just overpowered. You can literally, if you have a good enough fighter, you can literally have a great match with him. With anyone. Which is how it is. So, and the new moves are great for 2k18, by the way. Now on to number 7. The NXT TakeOver Dallas Season 1 fight. Season 1, Episode 51. This Fatal 4-Way match was beautifully done. I can't remember who all was in it. I know Clash Par was definitely in it. But this was another example of how talented NXT was and how good the roster is. It sucks, man. It sucks. Thank you. Class Par, Adrian Galerto, Cody Rhodes, and Yuri Yamashita. All custom wrestlers. And let me just say, they all blew the roof off the place. Both in the game and in the comments section, just on how great and choreographed this was. It all came down to timing. It was similar to the other Fatal 4-Way match, but it was just really, really well done. In my opinion, well choreographed, well planned, quote unquote, because I couldn't plan for some of that stuff, and it just felt, it built everyone up as a strong force to be reckoned with, which is great. Now, number 6. I think everyone was kind of waiting for this one. The Austin Aries Elimination Chamber win. Season 1, Episode 49 for the Hardcore Championship. 6 men were in it. I think it was Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Austin Aries, Goldberg, Braun Strowman, and Samuel Armstrong. And let me just say, this match was awesome. Everybody got their spots in. Armstrong looked like an absolute beast. Randy Orton looked like an absolute underdog. But the real kicker was Austin Aries being the biggest underdog in the whole match. It was his first match outside of the Royal Rumble. So you're kind of wondering what's going to happen, especially with Armstrong and all these big dominant dudes in the ring. You're kind of wondering, this is for the Hardcore Championship. Can Austin Aries hang? Can he do it? Can he win the Hardcore Championship? And even though I spoiled the ending and who wins, I would say go and watch the ending piece. It's so satisfying, and it's the one time that you will ever see Samuel Armstrong tap out in convincing fashion. Now, number 5 is Matt King versus Class R for the United States Championship. This one was right before TLC, so Season 2, and right after Survivor Series, I believe. Either that or it was the one after TLC, and it was right before the Rumble. Either way, it was one of those two matches in Season 2, so you can find those two shows. Beyond the matches, you could tell easily, that Class Par can shine. I know that he's had some bad matches, but this one helped prove just how good he is, just how dominant he is, and just how good Matt King and him are in the ring as computers and, in the game. I know we're talking about a video game, but what you want to show is not only being able to work with one guy well, but working with multiple characters well. Because then it proves to the crowd that you have a really good moveset, or you have a guy that's really good at playing as your character. Hint, hint. But this is where both sides clicked, and it ended out phenomenally, and all the guys looked strong. Now, number 4, Yuri Yamashita versus Cody Rhodes. Speaking of great matches, Cody Rhodes and Yuri Yamashita was great in Season 1 TakeOver Orlando just before the Royal Rumble. Why? Well, go ahead and check it out why. I would just say that. And I know Yuri Yamashita hasn't had phenomenal standout matches like many of them. Let me just say he had two standout ones that I will remember, and this was one of the two that I will just remember as a solid, great match between Cody Rhodes and Yuri Yamashita, where neither man, it seemed like, would give up. Now, number three. Kevin Drago versus Kurt Angle 2, the second fight. It was on the NXT show just before WrestleMania, Season 2. And let me just say, I put this match together thinking that maybe I could get close to the magic of the first one. And let me just say, it was pretty darn close. That crowd, I don't think most of the people in the comments were expecting such a good match. A long, beautiful, solid, strong match between these two. If you saw the first one, you'd figure out that they can go. But this one completely solidified that not only are they both good, but that either magic or lightning struck twice in the same spot, or they just had that good of a moveset, or I'm just that good with an AI. I don't know. Either way, it worked out so well. I recommend basically any of these 20 matches that I'm talking about, must see in my opinion. If you're going to tune into Season 3 or Season 4 when 2k18 comes out, these are must see, or at least you should watch these. Top 10 should see as well. Top 5 must sees in my opinion. Undertaker versus Matt King was number 12. Number 2 was Kevin Drago versus Kurt Angle 1. I think, like I already mentioned, Kurt Angle and Kevin Drago had a phenomenal second match, but the first one was a 15-minute Iron Man match for the NXT Television Championship at NXT TakeOver London, which was amazing. I don't even know the words to describe it. If you were 15 minutes to score as many pinfalls and submissions as you can, Kevin Drago was making his debut. Kurt Angle was trying to prove just how good of a champion he was. He's putting it up against a young rookie, and you get to find out just how good these two are. And Kurt Angle working with a younger talent. I know that I'm talking about that, but it's still a video game. But it just worked out in a storyline sense. It felt strong. It felt good. It established Kevin Drago as an immediate name. And a big name at that on NXT. And it established Kurt Angle as a guy that can work with someone good. Now, number one. This is my opinion. Yuri Yamashita versus CM Punk NXT TakeOver Toronto Season 1. This match may be the very best match I've ever had in WWE 2K or any WWE game. This match, 15 minutes of perfectly timed. Everything was perfectly timed. I don't know how I did it with the CPU. It still baffles me today on how everything happened, and especially how it all ended. Actually, anything, any part of that, any aspect of that match is just stunning. It's jaw-dropping in my opinion. The top 5 matches are all jaw-dropping, but this one was the icing on the cake of holy crap. How did you do that? That's what it felt like. And it was just such a huge moment for Yuri Yamashita and CM Punk, even though CM Punk didn't really get a push. Same as Cody Rhodes, this one truly established Yuri Yamashita in 2k17. Now, of course, he was already a name in 2k16, but this just added to his character on how good of a wrestler he is, because I hyped him up in 2k16 as a phenomenal Japanese Mexican wrestler, and he was the king of triple threat matches. He was the king of Iron Man matches. And then I bring him over to 2k17 because everyone wanted to still see him, like Adrian Galerto. I brought him over, and it worked. It worked. Now, the tag team with Sin Cara may not have worked, but this worked. It established him as a singles competitor, and it made him look strong. With that said, these were the only 2 matches that he had that were phenomenal for him. That comes down to me. Well, correction, I take that back. There were a few honorable mentions that I'd like to have because, Class Par versus Yuri Yamashita was great at Royal Rumble Season 2. Oh, there's many matches that I can't think of off the top of my head that were great, but it's hard to find words. These matches were just great. I didn't put any cash-in matches on because those are short. Unless you count the 2 cash-in. I don't think I'll do OMG moments because you can eventually find OMG moments on your own if you really want to. But these 20 matches were probably the best matches and the most fun I had within 2k17. But that's my opinion. If you think that there should have been others on the list, you're entitled to that opinion. This is strictly my list, my recommend. It's also a recommendations list to anybody that wants to look at this. Look back on the history of this channel before 2k18 drops. I know that it's going to drop 4 days early. I'm not going to buy it, the deluxe edition, so I'm not going to get it 4 days early. Just to tease you guys a bit. and hold off on it. I know everyone's going to be like scrambling for the YouTube videos for the first 4 exclusive days. Me, I'm going to be patient and wait. I want to make everybody, even though I'll be late putting out videos, it will just add to a feeling of worth the wait. Like, I want like it to be worth the wait of the 4 days. Like, if you really want to restrain yourself for 4 days and not like watch anything and just wait for mine, you can do that. It just adds the element of, oh, this is gonna be epic. I'm trying to plan something. The card's already coming together for Extreme Rules. Now that I think about it, I'm already building up the card. But anyways, this is my top 20. If you have any other matches that you think were great, you can tell me if you want to. And of course, you can like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want. You can suggest this video to your friends who are also interested in this kind of thing, if they are ranked, or if you just want to help boost my channel's popularity. It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you if you should or shouldn't, but it is up to you. You have the power of choice, and I'm giving you that power of choice. Every video, that's why I say you can subscribe to the channel or leave a like if you choose. It's choice. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed this list. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you choose. And as always, Suit Up Guardians, hopefully we will have 20 more phenomenal matches in 2k18. See you all next time. And yes, I am cutting off the Royal Rumble short. Why? 'Cause I can. Thank you for watching. And as always, suit up, Mad Army.